Dean Cain, aka Superman, went from saving Lois Lane to chasing immigrants with ICE. John's not for it. Me, I just see an actor switching jobs, same way folks go from retail to real estate. But let's be clear, cape or badge, does it make you qualified? What say you, dear listener? Meet me in the comments.
And so the other story that jumped out to me this week was you had Dean Cain, who is famous for his role in Superman. And Mr. Cain decided that he was going to be an ICE agent. And that pissed a lot of folk off because they were like, you're Dean Cain, you're Superman. How in the hell are you going to become an ICE agent?
Why can't he become an ICE agent? He's not, Superman's not real. So it's not like he has superpowers. Let me explain something to you. That's called fantasy. It's not real. If he wants to change jobs and he wants to become an ICE agent, why would that be of any concern to me?
I think it was concern to a lot of people because it's talking about the entertainers or people that you think should think a certain way or be sort of disappointing. It's like Mel Gibson being a complete asshole.
Because again, you and I have talked about this. You think that, and you can feel free to correct me if I misunderstood, but what I heard from you is that you feel that celebrities owe the public something. Like we should have insight into their lives. They don't have the same privacy rights because they are entertainers. For me, I'm like, that's their job. If someone came to you and they were like, you know what, Mr. Dunson, I don't like the way that you ran this meeting and you're out to dinner with your family. I'm sorry, why are you here? So it's their job. And if you decide you want to move into a different industry and you want to do something else, okay, because all I want from you is to entertain me. I don't care about what you're doing at your house. I don't care what you're talking about with your dinner. I don't care about your pillow talk. Entertain me on the screen so I can pay my little $20 to watch you and then be done with it. That's the end of our engagement. So if you decide you want to do something else, that's your business.
I think there are two different arguments here. I think there's the argument that you can separate the art from the artist, which we both agree with. I think that we agree there. Also believe that
in some situations,
I think we agree there. Also believe that with the case of Mr. Cain, who is, yes, he played Superman. Yes, he is a minority of biracial heritage. I think because the ICE and being an ICE agent is so politically toxic and the individuals who may be thinking of becoming or working in that field, I think that from that standpoint, that's what pissed off a lot of the individuals who support him that, okay, it's okay that you support this administration that you voted for 3 times. It's okay that you are a Republican. I think the issue that his followers or the individuals who followed his career have is because these ICE agents are going in and removing people who may or may not be American citizens, who may have not been individuals who are breaking the law, and you're purposefully signing up for an organization who is doing that and separating families. I think that's what the issue has been.
Pushback. And I'm going to just challenge you to consider something else. So when I hear you say what I'm hearing you say, and you may not be saying this, is I hear you saying that ICE agents are bad and they're doing bad things. What if, just riddle me this, what if someone wanted to get into that organization because they wanted to have these people have a better experience? Now, you're still going to get deported because that's the law. The law is the law, and that's happening. But you don't have to treat people poorly. And so if someone says, hey, you know what? I want to get into this industry. I know what the job is, but if I can give somebody a better experience, let me do this.
Okay.
I'm just saying that I don't think that just because you're an ICE agent, now you're having horns underneath your hat. Somebody's got to be good. Like somebody had to raise their child good.
No, I think the thing that got him to get involved was he's always shown a proclivity to want to be in some type of law enforcement. He has been in law enforcement for a few years. And I think the thing that a lot of individuals were taking issue was he took issue recently with Superman. The producer or creator of Superman, the show that he was a part of, have now changed the wherewithal of what Superman, the character, is for. And I want to be clear in terms of what it is that he had an issue with. And for Dean Cain, it was that they were trying to turn Superman into this woke individual that they call Superman, or the producer who came out, James Gunn, the producer who came out says that Superman is an immigrant and is the story of America, which Dean Cain took offense to. And he was like, okay, well, what does that mean that he's an immigrant? For Superman, it was always about truth, justice, and the American way. And now they've changed that to say now it's truth, justice, and a better tomorrow.
I think that's so a couple of things. Very, very interesting. So full disclosure, I am a Marvel girl. I couldn't care any less about DC. We're a Marvel family. So my youngest son, Gen Z, goes to see Superman and he comes back and he said, that was amazing. And I said, DC did a good movie? And now that you're telling me how that's changed, because James Gunn is also associated with Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. I know none of this. It's just like you doing that WWE, WW, whatever. It makes no sense to you. So now that you're telling me how that has shifted, my son's excitement over the movie makes sense because I was like, DC, that makes sense because they have shifted the narrative a little bit. And his entire crew went to go see this and they were all raving about it. There was a Marvel show that came out at the same time, the Fantastic Four, and he was like, it was good, but Superman was better. And never have those words been uttered in this household before. How dare you?
Yeah, Cain said something else. He said that Superman has always stood for truth, justice, and the American way. And the American way is immigrant friendly, tremendously immigrant friendly. But there are rules. You can't come in saying, I want to get rid of all rules in America because I want to be more like Somalia. Well, that doesn't work because you had to leave Somalia to come here. There has to be limits because we can't have everybody in the United States. We can't have everybody or society will fail. So there has to be limits. So in an interesting way, the fact that he was able to articulate, okay, guys, the reason that I'm getting involved is because we can't have everyone coming in and there has to be some type of rules or structure. Now, I don't think people have a problem with that. I think people have a problem with it when that rule or structure is only applied to individuals who look a certain way.
And I think that's the challenge, right? And so there's a lot of things on the surface when you take it in isolation, it makes complete sense. But when you look at the totality of it, that's when we have problems. I want to, before we ring off here, I want to talk about just something that we talked about last week in terms of the ad for Sydney Sweeney and a comment that we had received. It really just kind of ties back into looking at the entire picture, right? It's not just one isolated event. You talk about the immigration, people coming. I think everybody would agree that everybody just can't come in here willy-nilly because we would have chaos. But when you do it and there's inequity and then you're targeting certain people, like you can come in, but you can't. That's when we have a problem. If you're applying the rule and it is very judicious and it's across the board, I'm cool with that because I'm also of the mindset, everybody can't come in here. You have to have some rules and regulations. This is chaos here. But you have to look at everything. And then if you just allow me 1 second just to talk about the comment that we had made about the advertising. I'm the one that brought up the whisper of eugenics. Someone had said, a couple of people were like, an ad's an ad. And I agree with you. An ad's an ad. And I'm not saying anything about anyone being attractive, natural beauty, whether you paid for it or just genes itself. Good for you. Problem is when you look at it from the global thing and you look at the lack of representation for Black women, darker Black women, any kind of Black woman, and you have young Black girls looking at this, that can cause self-esteem and self-confidence issues, which has an impact on a lot of different things in their lives, education, the things that they're going to do, how they're showing up in class, and that way that they are showing up in relationships. So when we talk about things, we can't just look at it 1-to-1 ratio. It has to be looking at things as a whole, as a package, taking everything into consideration when we make decisions and when we have these conversations. I appreciate the discourse because it does allow everyone to kind of think about things from a different perspective and to consider the totality of things. And so I think in both of those instances, yeah, it makes sense, but look at everything.
Yeah, I think we'll agree there. And I take your point with respect to there has to be rules, and that one of the things that we have to do a better job at is making certain that we're hearing people and understanding how it is that they're coming to us with respect to their conversations. As we wrap up today's episode, I would be remiss if I did not take the time to notice the fact that you actually took the opportunity to comb your hair today. And I know that
You're the shadiest mother.
that is something that I wanted to acknowledge, that you actually
Thank you, John. I appreciate that. That was very kind of you.
Washington call.
And I'd like to acknowledge the fact that it looks like oh, no, still going to be the same little thing that you always have on, except it's not pastel today. That's nice.
As always, thank you guys for taking the time to spend some time today. It's our hope that you learn something and take something away from the dialogue. We understand that you have many things that you could be doing with your time, and we're glad that you're deciding to spend just a little bit with us. For those who are signing up for the podcast, thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Please make sure that you share, like, comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and make certain that you try to bring 2 or 3 others with you. Guys, take some time this week to do something nice for yourself, and while you're at it, make some time to do something nice for someone else. Until next time, we'll talk to you.
Thanks for tuning in to another lively conversation on I Take Your Point. This podcast is a production of the SME LLC Media Group. All rights reserved. If you are enjoying the show, hit the subscribe button in the top right corner. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and check out past episodes. Until next time, take care and be well.